It is day 25 on the Camino Frances, breaking it down with the help of Google Earth Pro. This is supplemental material to the vlog series that I shot in 2017. Today is another beautiful day, another rainy day, the last one on the entire Camino for me. There's going to be a couple of drizzles here and there, but nothing like today. On day 25, it rained from the moment I woke up until I got to the Albergue around 1 p.m. and then it was just scattered showers in the afternoon. So Ponferrada is a very popular town to start the Camino. Here you also have the Camino Olvidado from Bilbao, 444 kilometers that cuts through the Picos de Europa. So in case you want to do another Camino besides the Camino del Norte or the Primitivo, you have the Camino Olvidado. And once you get to Ponferrada, you have options. You can continue on following the Camino Frances, or you can take the winter Camino to Santiago de Compostela. The more I talk about it, the more I want to do that one. So I'm going to have to add it to the long list. Today is 23.6 kilometers to Villafranca del Verso. Beautiful town. We're going to be spending the day walking in the outskirts of Ponferrada in the suburbs. And then we're going to be following the road for the next couple of towns before we enter like Vineyards. So we're going to get a little bit of everything throughout the day. It's just a shame that it rained, but you know, it's gonna happen. When you do the Camino de Santiago, you're gonna get rainy days along the way. Before we go into today's stage, let's go over the Camino de Santiago as a whole, so that by the time you guys get there, you know it like the back of your hands. I know you're gonna download all the GPS tracks, so you're never gonna get lost and you know what's coming up ahead. Now, the Camino de Santiago stretches around 800 kilometers from Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port in France all the way to Santiago de Compostela, and the lucky ones, the lucky few, go an extra 100 kilometers to the end of the world or to Murcia, which is another great alternative. Now, as you make your way westbound across northern Spain, you're going to go through different autonomous regions and provinces. The first one is the province of Navarra, followed by the wine region of La Rioja, and then we enter the massive Castilla y León. Takes about the biggest section of the entire Camino in the center. Those are the plains, La Meseta. And it starts with the province of Burgos, followed by Palencia. And finally, León. We are still in León. Tomorrow, by the way, we're going to climb all the way up to Ocebreiro. And there we enter Galicia. Within Galicia, we have Lugo, followed by A Coruña. Now, finally, let's go over today's stage with the help of the elevation profile. 23.6 kilometers, and it's just going to be up and down gradually. We're only gaining about 100 meters or so, so not too bad. We're going to be on the pavement, on the road for the majority of the day, and just getting out of the city is going to take you over an hour. The day started bright and early. As always, I think I woke up like at 6:30 in the morning and left the Albergue, which is away from the city center. So I made my way through the town, the sleeping town that was starting to wake up, past the Castillo de los Templarios that I visited yesterday. Beautiful. And especially here that you see it in 3D in Google Earth Pro. This is the same way you're going to see it on your phone when you're there. It's just such a shame that I haven't covered the entire country in 3D. So today we're going from 3D back to 2D, and then we'll pick it up later on. But let's just enjoy while we have it. I was in the main plaza where I started vlogging at 7:07 in front of La Virgen de la Encina. Beautiful church. And then across is the bar where I stopped to get my breakfast, 7:09, 2 minutes later. And what did I have? The all too familiar café con leche and a croissant. 11 minutes later, I was making my way out of the town, going down these stairs, which are pretty cool. You're walking down the stairs all the way up to Ponferrada. It's elevated. You can see the river down below. It was 11 degrees Celsius, so it was just a little bit chilly. So left the road and entered a park and followed the river for a while until I made it here to this another beautiful bridge on this side and this industrial little factory, I guess, that has a chimney or a tower before you enter the Senda de los Romeros. 7:42 in the morning. Just climbed this small hill, as you can see here, all the way to the top. Not too bad. And then follow the road just for a little section before detouring from it, and then you enter the suburbs, or this little suburbs here of Ponferrada. And this was very peculiar, very odd, because as you can see here, you go right through a building. This building here, like the Camino doesn't go around the block, it cuts right through it. You can see people's houses here. They have like a small park in the middle. And right across the street, you have Iglesia de Compostilla. 7:54 in the morning. I got some shots here. They also have like a statue, like a pilgrim statue, and a Maria statue as well. And then continue on walking through the suburbs. And then there's another one, Ermita Santa Maria de Compostilla, where you have a crucero on the right-hand side over here. 8 o'clock in the morning, before you leave this neighborhood behind. Not far from there, you cut through the Polígono Industrial. In this case, it's not too bad. And there's also a hotel here, Hotel Novo. And then you go under the highway. You have the underpass with inspirational quotes or graffiti, as always, depending on your point of view. Now, this area over here is very close to the Barcena Reservoir, where the Camino Olvidado passes by. So if you're doing the Camino Olvidado, you can continue on walking. If you're doing the Camino Frances and join it in the next town, or you can cut through the town, through Ponferrada, if you want to do the Camino del Invierno. So 8:08 in the morning, left the underpass, continue walking. Now you're a little bit out in the countryside, just for a little bit. You make your way past a cemetery here, a small one. And here's where I entered the town of Columbrianos. 8:15 in the morning, right across from Iglesia de San Esteban, is where I saw Fernando. Fernando passed me by. I didn't know him at the time, but we're gonna get to spend tonight at the Albergue. And alongside Ramon, the three of us are gonna walk all the way to Santiago de Compostela, 8 days away from now. So it was raining. I was making my way, cutting through the main roads. I had my rain gear on. Some people like ponchos and other people like the rain jackets and the pant covers. That's what I was using at the beginning. That was what I was doing on the Camino Frances, because it's the gear that I was using on the mountains that I climbed. Now, from the Camino Frances on, I switched over to ponchos. Here's the one that I use on the Via Francigena. It is very light, and it's easy to just take it out, put it on, walk while it's raining. It also covers all my equipment. It blocks the wind a little bit. I mean, nothing is completely waterproof. If it's raining a lot or if there's high humidity, just the air is going to go in and the water is going to condensate on the inside. If you do decide to go for a poncho, get one that goes all the way down to at least your knees. And that includes your backpack. If you have it on, try it on at home, because I remember that Noel in the Camino del Norte got one, and that was very tight. It was constraining, and it would only go down to his waist when he had his backpack on, and it did not do the trick. If you want to see how fast it takes to put on a poncho, here it goes. That's it. And if it stops raining, we're good to go. So we're in Columbrianos, and here there's another small Ermita de San Bias y San Roque, where I saw another stork nesting. There's a bar here. I was making my way through the town, and I just decided to go on. It was too early in the morning to stop. We're at the 25% of the way already, and you're walking on this backcountry road. It was raining on and off with very little traffic, so you don't have to worry about it. I did not see as many pilgrims today. Sometimes I would see them like going into a cafe or just coming out, and everybody was just trying to avoid the rain as much as possible. Made it to a crucero here, and also the 210-kilometer stone marker to Santiago. It was almost 9 o'clock in the morning. Stopped really quickly to get away from the rain and get a snack in front of Ermita del Divino Cristo. It was 9 o'clock in the morning, and I remember vlogging from this corner when it was raining before making my way through the small town. Continue on walking, and here's another church, Iglesia de Nuestra Señora de la Asunción. Plenty of churches today, and by the time we get to Villafranca, there's a ton of them over there. There's a few monasteries and another castle. This is all flat terrain. You're not climbing. And then we make it to the town of Camponaraya and rejoin the road. Now, if you're in a hurry when you left Ponferrada, you could just cut across, follow the main road, and avoid this detour that the Camino does to go into the countryside and take you to all the different points of interest that you're going to see along the way. You follow the main road, you're going to get there faster, but faster doesn't mean that it's the prettiest. So in this town, you know, you get a few bars, you have the postal office, you got places to resupply. There's also Parroquia de San Ildefonso. There's a pharmacy here, and it was 9:26 in the morning and 12 degrees Celsius, so it only went up 1 degree. Continue walking, following the main road, and in this roundabout, you have a clock tower, 931, more pharmacies and ATMs. Now, when it comes to ATMs, when I see them, I try to get money out. I will usually carry around 300 euros with me at all times, and I will take money out of the ATMs in the major cities, so it will last me when I was out in the countryside. Small Polígono Industrial, another roundabout, and then you leave it all behind. But not before going over the main highway over this bridge. 951 is when you get to see the vineyards. Vineyards as far as the eyes can see. We're at the halfway point of the day for today. And here, unfortunately, like I said, it was raining, but it was just beautiful landscape. I can only imagine just a day before or a day after. At 10 o'clock in the morning, I saw a food truck in this patch of woods here, and they're a godsend. You know, when you see them, you can stop, take a break, get a snack, or as I did, just continue on walking. And after walking for about half an hour, I made it to the next town, to Cacabelos, where they have a rest area and a water fountain at the entrance of towns. You have a vineyard over here. You have Fuente de la Salud. This is a town where the Camino Olvidado joins the Camino Francés. So if you're not doing the Camino de Invierno and you want to do the Camino Francés, this is where the two merge. So expect a little influx of more pilgrims, including the ones that decided to start in Ponferrada. Another water fountain in front of this Albergue as you make your way through the town. Here's Capilla San Roque. Now, this is a small little chapel, and the guy that runs it was just outside telling all the pilgrims to go in. I got a stamp, and they have a large collection in this very small ermita, so if you do just one loop around the ermita, you get to see a ton of artifacts, crosses, and statues and such. I met a Spaniard here that I will get to walk all the way to the Albergue today. There's a bar on this side or a bakery, and this is where I had an empanada that was highly recommended. This is also the last town where I was filming. I just put the camera away for the next 6 kilometers or so, and I was just talking to my new pilgrim friends. He was giving me the whole story about the Camino de Santiago, how he did it in the early 90s, how it compared. And he was also telling me the story about the monarchy here in Spain and how it all changed during the Civil War and the dictatorship of Franco. Go over another Rio Cua, another beautiful bridge. There's a lavadero on this side and a Santuario de la Quinta Agustina with an albergue inside the ground. So this could be a place to stay if you need to call it a day this early on. From here, we have a 100-meter climb that we have up ahead, and we're following the main road. But don't worry, you got a couple of rest areas along the way. You also have a detour if you want to take that one. If you want to get away from the road, it's just a little bit longer as usual, but I'm sure it's probably a lot prettier. We're at 75% of the way for today, so this is the last stretch to town. This is the split that I just mentioned to you guys. From here, we're 3.34 kilometers away from where that detour rejoins the Camino again. And that detour is 4.36 kilometers, so a kilometer longer, and it takes you past the town of Valtuille de Arriba, and you also have Valtuille de Abajo on this side. So I continue walking on the main road. It was a rainy day. I just wanted to get there. There's a 196 kilometer stone marker to Santiago, where you leave the road behind. You make a right turn here by this rest area. So that's it. You're done with the road. You're away from it. This is the spot where the two Caminos, or the variant and the Camino, rejoin. 75-meter drop from this point all the way down to Villafranca. And I made it to Villafranca at 1 p.m. or to the Albergue at 1 p.m. The municipal Albergue, just like the one in Ponferrada, is away from the city center. But this one is right next to the Iglesia de Santiago, a very beautiful church that I came back in the afternoon to visit, but the rain caught up with me. We'll get to that now in a little bit. Past that is the Castillo de los Marqueses, which they have here in 3D, just the castle so far. Can't wait to see the town in 3D as well. And here's like the city center where all the bars and hotels and posadas are located. I went straight to the Albergue de San Nicolas, which you go you have to go around the albergue all the way to the back. And here I got a room with 3 beds and its own bathroom, which is luxury. And I got all that for $850. So, you know, it didn't break the bank. I saw Francisco here, the Brazilian pilgrim that I hadn't seen for a few days, not since I saw him in Astorga, getting to Astorga. And I will not get to see him again until further down the line. So I was on my own at the monastery. I was on the room all by myself, but I knew that that wasn't going to last for too long. I took care of hot spots that I had on my legs. They were hurting. I had a black toenail from way back at the beginning of the Camino. That's as much damage as I had. And from here, I went to get something to eat for lunch. It was 1:30 in the afternoon already. I was contemplating doing my laundry, but I was waiting to see if other pilgrims were going to show up and if we could pull in and try to bring the price down, which we did. So I had the pilgrim menu, talking to all the pilgrims that I hadn't seen in a while. It was just like a reunion atmosphere in a way. And then decided to explore the town, just walking through the streets. I was making my way back to the castle and the Iglesia de Santiago when the rain caught up with me once again. So I took a refuge at a bar here across the street from the Castillo, and I had a café con leche just to pass the time. And when I was ready to pay, I realized that I had left my wallet in the monastery. So I had to leave my camera behind as collateral, a $4,000 camera as collateral for a €1 cup of coffee. So I made my way rushing back to the monastery where I got my wallet, came back, and took possession back again of my camera. Now at the albergue, I met Fernando and Ramon, the trio that's going to make it all the way to Santiago de Compostela, and we did pull in all our resources and all of our dirty clothes, and we did the laundry. It was like €4 for the washer and 4 for the dryer, so, you know, do the math. Very inexpensive when you pull in. After that, we had dinner all together. I think we shared like a few large pizzas for dinner. And that was it, guys. That was the end of day 25. Another beautiful rainy day. Luckily for me, it is the last one on the Camino Frances. Tomorrow, we get to Galicia and we get to Ocebreiro, another highlight of the Camino Frances. From now on is the last push to Santiago. And also tomorrow, no, actually the day after tomorrow, was my 38th birthday on the Camino. Something that I recommend that you do. Spending your birthday on the Camino Frances was just another one of those things that I really treasure from my first Camino. So that's it for today's video. I guess I'll see you on the next one.